Good morning, Shipbreaker. Do you fancy learning how to deal with Class 2 reactors? Of course you do. Why else would you be here? Anyway, let's do a training session. Training sessions are fun because there's less time pressure on what you're doing. Sometimes they take the time pressure away, sometimes they take the oxygen away, but you get, it's a bunch of free, more free stuff than if you did it another way. I imagine they're probably going to give us a javelin, but I don't remember which ship they're going to give us. We'll see. I've only seen the javelin so far.
Alright, Cutter. Time to extract your first Class 2 reactor. This one's not quite as simple. Just pull it and barge it, right? Pretty straightforward. Well, I'm sure head office would rather the reactor was in one piece. Pulling this beast without proper prep is a sure way to print yourself a receipt for a new spare.
Oh, yes.
Sure, prep. But you're on the clock, don't forget. As I was saying, like any reactor, it'll melt down as soon as it's disconnected from its housing. And these Class 2s will melt down mighty quick unless you do two things first. First, release the connection to the thrusters. Second, remove the coolant from the ship's Environmental Control Unit, or ECU. Or just cut a hole, pull it, and barge it. Just make sure you clear an extraction route before doing anything, Cutter.
Yes.
As soon as you release the thrusters and mess with the ECU coolant, that reactor will enter a controlled meltdown. Oh, and if you're having trouble finding everything, try using the systems mode of your scanner.
First things first, is anything going to go blow up in here? So what I did there was, this is the main compartment where the reactor is. Now, it's a big boy compared to the last one, isn't it? Size in the later parts of the game, later versions of the game. Actually, do I have? I don't have. Here we go. I don't have oxygen or a timer in here. I don't. There can be items floating around in here, and they can bash into things and cause massive trouble. So I just thought I'd just vent it to see what happened. But anyway, right now, everything's clear. Yeah, everything's red around. There's no oxygen in here. The main thing now is to make ourselves a space to get this beast out, and also to not have any problems getting out ourselves. First of all, disconnect the thruster. We can hardly see because the problems with the radioactivity. But there we go. This is the main thruster. This is the old kind of thruster. And again, I'm just being careful here because normally I would remove a larger place of this ship than this. But I'm just being extra careful because I haven't done this for a while. I've got older tools here. Actually, no, you're going back there. I just realised these bloody antennas are here. I can't take these off by cutting through here. This isn't. That needs an explosive mount on it. A depth charge on it to blow that clear. We'll work our way through. If I'd sent this back panel over there, I might have clunked into this antenna and damaged it. Okay. Carelessly use the cut saw. Right near a reactor. This goes boom, by the way. There's nothing. I'm definitely gone, but much of the back half of the ship will be gone as well. Just in case you're not sure what it means when I did it wrong. And alert this back over here. Oh, just realised. Look, I missed one. This fuel line's now clear. Otherwise, it would have lights on it. The coolant line down here. Oh, it hasn't got lights on it. Often they do to show that there's something in there. How are you not moving yet? Have I missed? Oh, I missed one. Look. There we go. Now, How much more do I want to open up of this? Probably a bit more, I'd imagine. Okay. Can I get you over there? I think I probably can. Yeah, there we go. Peel this through. And while we're here... Hold on a second. Oh, I can just take the whole thing off here. Okay, that's fine. So as they have internal cut points to get these antennas off, but this is the simpler version.
Deposit accepted. Credits awarded.
Simple's nice for me sometimes.
Salvage deposit secured. Credits awarded.
Gotta be careful here. These pipes are very fragile. So I did this wrong. This thing could smack that pipe
Salvage registered.
and
Transferring credits.
cause some problems, but we should be okay. Guide it around a little bit. Not very carefully. I could have done a lot better than that, but never mind. Right, next thing to do. That's not the actual reactor itself. This is they've got panels on there first.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
So we've seen the problems with fire in the previous video. Of basically catching myself on fire because of fuel lines. And the other one is coolant. Coolant is both your friend and your enemy. Occasionally, it's not a very nice friend. It's an abusive friend if you want to use it. Coolant will freeze things. It will freeze you, but it will also freeze other things like, for example, nanocarbon and other materials and make them very brittle, and they will simply break. Now, occasionally, some brave people use this to break certain parts of the ship to get access. You'll be able to do. You can get things like smaller coolant tanks to do this with. There we go. But mostly it's a problem. Right, now what we need to do now this is a Javelin, by the way. This is a heavy cargo ship.
Deposit registered.
Next thing to do,
Credited.
we need to remove the coolant from this unit here. This is the coolant unit, keeping the reactor happy. Okay, now inside here. But as soon as we've done this, unfortunately the reactor will not be happy that we've removed the coolant. We're okay till we take the last one out. We're going to get back to the reactor. Now you notice we've got more time to do this than a simpler reactor, but time is relative and all that.
Great work, Cutter. Handling both the thrusters and ECU, giving you a nice, long, controlled meltdown.
Why is that down there? Is that in the wrong place? Oh, I put it in the wrong place.
On the barge, right? Well, I'll be. Well done, Cutter.
Come on, get off of there. I want to put you in somewhere else.
Continue to impress. Now
I do.
we just gotta work on improving the time. All right. We're done with training. We'll leave you be now. Great work today, Cutter.
There we go.
You were out.
That cap there I thought was going to go in cargo, but it doesn't. I got it wrong. I've misremembered things. It's been a while since I've played. Now, other things we can do.
Valuable object processed.
So if we'd have cut this pipe here before we'd done that, we'll have had a coolant leak and lots of problems would have occurred. Hold on. Again, it's things like that. It's knowing where you can cut things like this to get the most for your money. You can go over there, buddy. Now we know some of this other lot already, don't we? We know how to do some of these things already. What we need to do really... We may have caused ourselves a problem somewhere else, but we'll come to that in a minute. Let's get inside here. There's two cabins on these ships, these big ones here. There's a fore and aft. No, I need you.
Valuable object accepted for processing.
There's another cabin, there's another control cabin down there.
Secured. Credit applied.
This is presumably for managing the reactor. I don't know. The game, I do like a lot of the logical design of these games. There are things where you'd expect there to be things. Scout ships full of equipment for mapping things, as you'd expect. You know, the ships that are effectively space buses have, you know, a good number of seats in them, like you'd expect. Otherwise, what's the point of calling them a bus? There'd be no use. This place in here, what we need to do here. This is glass. This is very valuable. This whole unit here, you can go in the... Oh, I'm rather close to the furnace. I can kill myself in the furnace. And my tether didn't work properly. How are we doing? 14 tethers left. Some O2... Oh, my O2 and fuel are now back. I guess if I was min-maxing this, what I could have done was I could have been careful to do as much of the work as possible before doing the reactor, and that way I'd have not had to have any O2 or fuel demands on me. But it's fine, it's fine. That's got to go in the processor. You can come with me, buddy. Now, this is always a case that you had to... There's no connectors here. What I always forget about is there is a panel in here that I should really pull off, I think.
Processing valuable deposit.
So I don't break it. There are... airlock consoles are worth quite a bit.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
84 thou. Which is not to be sniffed at. No, not quite through. Didn't quite get it square. Come on.
Object processed.
Huh.
Transferring credits.
For the two parts, that's interesting. I don't know why you did that.
Material accepted. Credits assigned.
Reactor is airlocks as usual. Airlocks always had the same sort of fixing configuration. I left some stuff near the back, didn't I? I did. This is a big heavy fat end.
Transferring credits.
You're a big heavy fat end, and it needs to go into there without accidentally ending up in the bloody furnace. This one's a bit close as well. I suspect this one. You can use these jacks to try to lug things into the right place. In fact, it's essential with certain ships to do that kind of thing. Right, do some bit of destruction now. Have to let it cool down between times. What am I doing, you might be wondering? Well, I'm getting that big old coolant unit out.
Valuable object.
It's complaining about the value of the
Credits deposited.
aluminium pieces, but
Salvage
you know
goal
what?
cleared.
Nick us to it. You
Rewards
can't.
allocated.
You can't do everything. You can't get every last piece, no matter what you want to do. Right. Damn it. I'm off targeting. I need a more effective cutter, which I'm getting slowly. Come here, you.
Material
You?
deposited.
No, I didn't ask you to do that, but okay. There's still lights on in there. How come there's still lights on somewhere? What I'm worried about towards the front end of the ship is
Salvage deposit accepted.
venting the gap, venting the air. So the... Unsurprisingly, because this game is logical a lot of the time, not always, but a lot of the time, We need power to run the decompressor units to vent the air out. If we've ripped the reactor out, which is what I was worried about, we might not be able to do anything. But I guess there's some power cells somewhere, which is still sufficient for being able to play around with the pressurization of the front cabins. How are we doing here? We've nearly run out of good stuff to get from the back of this. We've got some big thruster units up there we can cut off.
Account credited.
Is that in? It's getting in there. Is aluminium? Got to be careful. Cut through there. I do not like these central fuel systems. They are very annoying. Notice these lines are lit up because there's still fuel pumping through. Where is the shut-off valve? Somewhere around here. Here it is. Right, so these lines are now clear. This thing here is still very explosive. No. Sometimes you can use the cut saw for this, but you got to be brave about it. You got to really know what you're doing. Otherwise, you're going to be breaking some expensive equipment very, very quickly.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
If you haven't played this game yet, I expect you can see, you know, the enjoyment of a job done well. Some of the later ships do get rather frustrating, I would say. Well, I would say, I know. Oh god, that's not good. I can kill myself by being crushed. They get a bit silly after a while with the demands on them. I think I may have talked about that in a previous video. But that's okay. I like the improvement in the number of ships available. A variety. This one I'm not so excited about because I've done this one many times. Oh, we can grab that off for a start. You get larger and larger versions of these ships as well. The ones like this, they're covered in these sort of cargo containers. How are we doing? 5 minutes. O2 is still good. I did increase my O2 allowance. At some point we'll get to the point where we can go a whole 15 minutes without having to buy more O2. And fuel I've never found a particular problem. Occasionally I have to buy fuel.
Salvage secured.
Oh right, tethers. There we go, keep that going down there. Let's do a bit of...
5 minutes remaining in your shift, Cutter. 5 minutes.
Thanks, Weaver. As usual, most of these things, though. Ow! Complacency and carelessness is what hurts you. Thank you, game, for demonstrating that so admirably. Again, not my fault. The radio's changed because I've hit my head. Does anybody know what I did wrong there? Anybody? Anybody? You at the back? Do you know what I did wrong now? I did not respect physics. Is what happened there. So the weight of the mass of the antenna there was far higher than me. They've all got weights on them. So therefore I tried to lug it around using my own mass to some degree and my thrusters. And physics went, no, and gave me a bit of... it's not as cool as it could be. I mean, it doesn't give me quite the equal opposite reaction it could have been.
Credit applied.
It's something like... Right, are we still... Okay, it looks like a lot of things are vented in here. Something's still pressurised. Probably this, I'd imagine. We'll rip this off. Funnily enough, you can't cycle an airlock without the console, right? So you shouldn't rip these off unless you know what you're doing. Oh, this one here. Okay, like I just did there. Okay, let's do this then. Nothing will go wrong there.
Applying credit.
You can blow that door off? Oh, don't make me pull. Oh, I think the ladders might be in the way. Oh, figured. Bye, ladder. No, okay, I've got you. I've got you.
Salvage deposited. Applying credit to account.
Damn, I didn't quite cut these doors off. Hold on. I don't want to damage the airlock. How I didn't blow anything else in here is a miracle. Uh-oh, that's still pressurized. That's not good. I should cycle.
Airlock depressurizing.
That's the bit that I thought was only pressurized, but... Damn it. Okay, nothing vital, I'm sure. Oh dear, you're being nice to me, game. Really you are. Get these off. Let's see how much we can do in 2 minutes.
Salvage deposit registered. Account credited. Valuable object.
So is there a data drives in here? Doesn't appear to be one. There's a bottle of Wasser. Probably corporate water, I'm sure. Are things still lit up? Looks like the lights are mostly off now. There might be one power cell in here left.
Applying credit.
We'll have to see. Oh yeah, these computers are still on. Look, there is a power cell somewhere, probably on the in the
Deposit secured.
compartment between the bulkheads and the hull. Can you be brave and do this? Hold on.
One minute left, Cutter. If you got something cooking, now's the time to plate it and bring it to the table.
That's a new line. I like that. I got kind of sick of some of your lines in the past, Weaver, but that's a good one. That's a nice phrase. Good job, sir. Good job. Right.
Valuable object accepted for processing.
How are we doing here? We've got a lot of it done. There's a lot of valuable equipment in here. The problem in here is getting some of the stuff out.
Raw material processed. Credits deposited.
Power cell's probably to my right. There it is. As I said, I know these ships a bit too well. Now you don't actually have to, or efficient rate, you don't actually have to cut every single one of these points. It depends on how good your grapple is at handling large items. At the moment, my equipment as it is, I don't think it's reliable enough to move the really big pieces around.
New certification level has been achieved.
There you go.
Light
I've probably got demo charges now, actually. Probably another training.